Shannon Tan is a rising star in the world of golf. Last year, she made history by becoming the first Singaporean to ever win on the Ladies European Tour. And what was even more remarkable was the fact that she did it in her very first LET event. Now, that victory was the first of 9 top 15 results on the LET that she would collect in her rookie season. And those slate of performances would help Tan finish 6th in the order of merit as a rookie. Now, from her early years playing in the Gold Coast to then playing in the Olympic Games to her pursuit of an LPGA Tour card, Shannon's journey has been one of bold moves and dedication and family sacrifices as well. It is such a remarkable story, and I am so privileged to be joined by Shannon right now, who joins us from her home in Johor. Shannon, welcome to the show. I believe you are back in this part of the world. I'm in Singapore, you're in Johor. How good does it feel to be back home?
Yeah, definitely really great to be back home. I got 3 weeks in between my events from South Africa to Korea. So yeah, it's good to be home with family and to catch up and to see them, I guess. It's been quite a while since I've seen them.
Now, I just rattled off a few accomplishments of yours in that very brief introduction. And the wonderful thing is that it's all kind of come together in the last 18 months. So I wanted to ask you, how would you sum up the last year and a half for yourself as a professional golfer?
I mean, I would say a lot has happened, like from going to qualifying school while still in college, still in my sophomore year in college, and then yeah, getting my tour card, winning on my debut on the LET, and then teeing it up at the Olympics, and then making the cut at the Open, finishing 6th on the order of merit. So I would say a lot has definitely happened in the past 18 months and since turning professional. But I mean, it's a good thing when a lot of these things happened and you know that your decision has paid off.
Does it still feel like a dream for you? Do you still kind of wake up and feel like you have to pinch yourself?
Um, I wouldn't really think so. I mean, I like to be fair, when I won on my debut, I kind of couldn't believe it happened, but at the same time, I was like, oh, it's just just another day. Like, I think,
Ah,
yeah, at this point,
amazing.
I'm just taking whatever comes at me.
Now, you mentioned winning on your debut. So I'd like to take you back to that time. I think it was 13, 14 months ago. Can you take us back to the final round before you teed off? I believe you were in a share of the lead going to the final round in Kenya. Can you take us through what was going through your mind at that moment? Was the victory in sight? Did you feel like the victory was in sight, or was that out of your mind as you teed off?
Um, so yeah, on that particular morning, I know I woke up feeling a bit nervous and excited at the same time. But I think I knew once I got on the golf course, I'll be fine. Like once I got out there, and I know I'll be comfortable, and I know I've been in this situation before, and I know that I've hit enough golf shots in practice, and it's just another round of golf at the end of the day. Like, so I think in the morning I was definitely a bit nervous and just felt probably adrenaline as well. But I knew like when I was on the course, I was fine.
Now, you must have been only 19 at that stage. Was there anyone there with you to kind of ground you and keep you grounded as you went into that final round?
No, so I mean, I kind of went like on my own, but I had a caddy there, and I met him at qualifying school, and then we worked pretty well at qualifying school. So I asked if he wanted to do a whole season with me. So I had my caddy there, and he knows my game pretty well. Like at that point, even though it was our first like sort of LET event together, but it's the second event we've worked together for, and I thought having him there was really helpful as well. And he would basically like on the front line, the game plan was just hit the fairway, hit the green, and just try and make the putt and just keep it in play. On that golf course,
Yeah.
especially, I think it's quite important to make sure you're in position and how to set yourself up. So he just tell me where to hit, and I'll just hit it to where we've planned. And yeah, just try take our chances, if not just move on to the next hole. So yeah.
Well, you make it sound so easy. I know you said you woke up feeling really nervous going into the final round, but apart from that, you sounded quite cool and calm. Is that how you are naturally during tournaments? And what do you attribute this cool, calm demeanor to?
I think, yeah, I've mostly been pretty calm on the golf course. Like, people have told me that I look really calm. Um, I think it might be because, like, I know I've played in a lot of competitions growing up, and I think at the end of the day, like, if it's if it's a major or if it's like a normal event, like you still want to do your best. So
Mm.
I think I've maybe put myself in that position a couple of times and just learned how to handle that. And I guess the way I saw it was just an opportunity for anything to happen. So, and golf is basically a game where there are a lot of external factors. Like you could hit a good shot and get a bad bounce, or you could play really well and like someone else plays better than you do. So I think if I just told myself to just control the things I can control and just control the controllables, and whatever happens will happen.
Now it's been an extraordinary year for you. Apart from winning your very first LET event, you also qualified to play in the Olympic Games. You also qualified to play in a couple of major tournaments. I'm just wondering which of those moments really hit you emotionally and why.
I would probably say the Olympics hit me the most emotionally. I mean, the Olympics is just like the biggest sporting stage, and like it's the pinnacle of sport for most sports. So I mean, to wear the national flag, and I mean, on that first tee box, I just felt a lot of adrenaline and felt good. I mean, it turned out well. Like I remember I hit that drive pretty far. Like had a lot of adrenaline that moment. But I mean, overall just really honored and proud to have represented Singapore and be the first Singaporean golfer to tee up at the Olympics as well.
And also the whole Olympic experience. Were you at the Olympic Village? Is that where you were staying? And were you surrounded by just stars of sports all the time?
So I was at the village I was there at the opening ceremony onwards. So I was there for about 2 weeks, and um it was nice to see like how other athletes from different sports, like how they prepare themselves and stuff, because in like a normal golf event it's just golfers, but like the Olympics you get people from all different sports from all over the world, and that was really cool and interesting to see. And I mean, within like the Singapore contingent, like I stayed with two of the fencers and one of the equestrians, and now we're really good friends. So it's really nice to have also made really good friends from sport.
Yeah, it's such a great experience being out there and all the friendships that you make and keep for the rest of your life. But what I'm curious about now, and I want to ask you, is about life on tour. I mean, I think you've just turned 21. You've been away for a long time. You spent a lot of time by yourself, away from your loved ones and your family. Now, from the outside looking in, it looks really glamorous because you're out there playing professional golf and you're achieving your dreams. But what would you say are some of the toughest moments for you? Because I'm sure it can be quite challenging as well.
I mean, yeah, definitely I don't get to see my family as often now. But I mean, I'm also quite lucky that like technology is pretty good, so I can still call them whenever I wanted to call them, or like yeah, it. And I would say I kind of miss the food back home as well, like
Don't
the
we
local
all when I
food.
travel
Yeah,
too?
I love the local food. Yeah, but I mean it's just part and parcel of my career basically. And I mean it's also quite cool to like travel to different parts of the world, play different types of courses, different types of conditions, different weather conditions. See, I think I've played in 18 countries last year, 29
Wow.
events, 18 countries. So yeah, it's really nice to just play. And like some of the courses we play are like the best courses in the world. We played St Andrews, the old course last year, and
Oh,
that's the home of golf. So it's really nice to have played a major championship at the home of golf. And I mean, yeah, I've got friends, like really good friends on tour that I've made. So that makes my tour life more fun as well.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it must have been such a whirlwind the last 18 months for you, trying to adapt to life, living by yourself, as well as playing on the European tour. But now you have one full season under your belt. How do you think you've grown mentally and emotionally after your first year on tour?
I would say there's some lessons that I learned from last year that I can do better on in this year. So I mean, 29 events last year, that's quite a lot of events.
Gee.
And I remember being quite burnt out at some periods of last year. So moving into this year, I'll probably do 24 events. And I think I'll do a maximum of 3 or 4 events in a row. And then it's important. I learned it's quite important to give, like recovery is important, and time off is important as well. And towards the end of last season, I felt really burnt out, and I felt like I went into Q school not feeling the best, like physically. So I think that's just a cause of not being able to go to the gym as often if I'm playing like 7 events in a row. So I think this year I'm gonna prioritize giving myself rest and also giving myself enough time to still hit the gym and still be in good shape physically as well. So I think yeah, all those from last year. It's your rookie year, so it's basically a year where you're supposed to learn and gain experience. So yeah.
Well said. I mean, you speak with a lot of maturity, I got to say. I know you've played many, many events on the LET Tour, but you've also played quite a few LPGA co-sanctioned events. What do you think stands out for you as being the biggest difference between the two terms in terms of, say, level and atmosphere?
So yeah, I mean, for last year I played in I think 2 LPGA co-sanctioned events and 2 majors, and then this year I've played an LPGA event in Singapore, the HSBC Women's World Championship. So
That's right.
I mean, that was definitely a dream come true to play on home soil and on home ground with like friends and people from home and Singaporeans coming out to watch and support you. I mean, the atmosphere was probably one of the best atmospheres I've ever experienced. And like literally like walking from hole to hole, like the volunteers would just be like 加油 Shannon, and like you could tell how all the Singaporeans out there are really supportive. So that atmosphere was really good. And I mean, last year in the majors, like the crowds, I think one different thing would be the crowds are massive at like the majors and the Olympics and LPGA events compared to the LET events. But I think at the end of the day, like the LET events, it's still an event, and I still want to do my best regardless of which event I'm playing in. But yeah.
So you mentioned a lot about making sure that you take time off to relax and take yourself away from golf. So what is a typical day off like for you?
Um, if I'm at home, I would spend time with like friends, family, go get some local food, walk around. If I'm on the road, I would say like listen to music, um, call my family, or just try find something to do that's not golf related. Because I think it's quite important. Probably have like one day off in like 2 weeks just to take your mind off golf. And yeah, so I mean, I don't really watch much TV series now. I used to watch Young Sheldon, and I finished that, so I need to find something new to watch. But yeah.
Well, unfortunately, there's too much out there to watch. I gotta say, Shannon, I get lost in the world of Netflix and Max. But I do want to go back to your early days because you moved from Singapore. You were born and raised in Singapore, but decided to move to Australia when you were 14 years old in order to pursue your love, your passion for golf. Can you take us back to that period and in making that decision? Because it couldn't have been an easy one for you or for your family to make. How did that move change you?
I mean, yeah, first of all, like it's definitely a big sacrifice for my parents to quit the jobs and move to a whole different country. I mean, when I got there, I felt like I had more chances and opportunities to, well, firstly practice because I would start school at about 9 and finish at 2, so I could still get some practice in before and after school. Compared to like in Singapore, I mean, like the education system here is great, but I think if I were to balance golf and school, I'd start at like maybe 7:30 in the morning, get done at 3:30, and you still got like extra lessons and homework. So I think one, yeah, that might have been a bit tough to juggle both golf and school at the same time compared to in Australia where like if I took like a few days off school for like a tournament, they would be more than happy if you did that. And they're quite flexible with like taking exams on the road, and yeah, they could work around your schedule pretty well. So I think that one thing that really helped a lot when I was there. And I think the opportunities for like competition as well, like there are quite a lot of competitions in Australia, like around Australia, like the different states and stuff. And so I think also having that competitive exposure was quite important in those years as well.
And is that advice that you would give to an aspiring junior player from Singapore? Because it is a big move, isn't it? But can an aspiring Singaporean golfer still make good and pursue a professional career if they were to stay in Singapore? I know it's a bit of a difficult question.
I would say you can definitely make it possible. But I mean, yeah, with like the school system here, like personally, I felt like I struggled in secondary one. I think I've barely passed that year, but I felt like putting my clubs away for a week before an exam would not be ideal, and I just could not get myself to do that. So yeah, I mean, I guess when there's a will, there's a way, but I mean, it's quite a struggle if you were to try and really do well in school here and golf at the same time.
And then further down the road, you had another very difficult decision to make. I'm not sure if it was difficult or not. It might have been really easy for you, but you were on a very good scholarship studying in the US and then decided to give that up to go professional. Why did you make that decision? Did you not think of maybe finishing school and then turning pro? And what else gave you that confidence to take that leap of faith?
So yeah, it was a really tough decision actually. Right after I got my card at Q school in 2023, I was only through my second year in college, so I had another 2.5 years more. But I think one thing that really that was a decider was I've always dreamt of playing on tour since I was a kid, and when you've got the opportunity right there in front of you, I just had to take it. But I mean, there are different like factors like to consider, like, but you can always defer studies, but you can't exactly defer golf. Like I could always go back to school 10 years down the road and finish my degree. Um, my credits are on hold, so I can go back to school whenever I want to, which is great. So I figured I could always do that in the future if I wanted to. But I feel like for golf, um, since I had the chance, I'd just take it.
Well, in hindsight, that was a terrific decision that you made. You've accomplished so much in the last 18 months, as we've been talking about. You also came very close to qualifying for the LPGA last season, but you just missed out in Q School. Was that a very tough moment for you? And what did you take away from that experience?
I think definitely like getting myself to final stage of Q school was great, but also missing out just by a bit definitely was a tough pill to swallow. But I mean, I went away with a lot of lessons learned from that and just the whole of last year in general. And I know that I've always got another chance. I've always got this year to try again. I've always got next year to try again. So, I mean, yeah, to be fair, I went straight from Spain to Q school, got there on the Monday. It was played on two different courses. So it was practice round on one course Tuesday, practice round on the second course Wednesday, and you start Thursday. So I think planning wise, I could have done a bit better there, but like coming off from an event in Spain, getting off a plane, getting right straight to two practice rounds. So yeah, I think if the schedule were to be about the same this year, I'd probably just skip the event in Spain or wherever it is this year and just give myself more time to prepare. But yeah, so that's one of the lessons I've learned as well. And also like my right elbow wasn't feeling great at the end of the season last year, like in Spain and Q school. So I mean I got it sorted in the off season, but it was just cause of like overuse and not being strong enough compared to my left side. So I mean I've done stuff in the off season and in the gym and can do it more regularly now that I'm playing lesser events, and I guess learning how to plan my schedule this year. So
And physically, you're feeling good?
yeah, feeling good now. Yeah, did quite good stuff in the off season. I went to Australia to see my coach and my physio and my gym trainer. So pretty much got myself in good shape. And yeah,
Are you the type of person who sets yourself goals, let's say every month or every year? And if you are, what is your main goal for the end of this season? What do you want to achieve by the end of the season?
I think I've mostly been like a really small goal person. So I've looked at my stats from last year and I found I can be better with up and down percentages, like short game. I was like 35% last year, so if I can get that up to 50%, I'd say it's quite a few shots there. For putting, like anything below 10 feet as well, like I can get better in that part as well. So I think if I focus and look at the areas where I can improve to save shots on, then that would translate to a bigger result. So I think I've always just looked at like what's like the 1% I can improve on tomorrow, what's like the 1% I can improve on this month. So I think I've always mostly been that type of person, and then not really like a whole overall results person, but more like a what's next for me to do and stuff like that. So yeah.
I think that's a very good approach that you're taking. I wanted to ask you as well, you've achieved things that no other Singaporean golfer, male or female, has ever achieved before. What do you think it is about your approach, your mindset that has allowed you to get to where you are?
I think I kind of live by a few quotes. So like try to get 1% better every day, control the controllables. And also golf is a sport where it requires a lot of patience. So if something doesn't work out, they just keep trusting the process. So I think I live by those quotes.
Okay, I want to get to something a little bit more philosophical. You've said before that you hope that your success inspires junior golfers. What will it mean to you, and what does it mean to you when young players now look up to you the way that you once looked up to others?
I mean, yeah, when I was growing up, I've really admired and watched and always wanted to play up next to some of the best players in the world. So I think I sort of understand the importance of having a role model and having someone to look up to. So I think it would be great if I could be that role model for some juniors back in Singapore. And yeah, I mean, I met my idol, Georgia Hall. Met her last year for the first time. She was really nice, and then she's picked me this year at the PIF Saudi Ladies International. So yeah, to having played with her in the same team in that team event was basically made one of my dreams come true as well. So I think having experienced that firsthand, I hope to do it for the juniors and the golfers in Singapore.
Well, it sounds like it keeps getting better and better for you, Shannon. But just looking ahead, what does success to you look like in, say, 3 years from now?
I mean, definitely getting my LPGA Tour card is something that I've always wanted. Like, I've always watched those events on TV as a kid, or like growing up, just always watched the LPGA players and basically learned from them, like watching them play. So, I mean, playing on like the biggest stage in women's golf is definitely one of the things I'm working towards.
Well, we certainly look forward to watching you pursue your dreams. Shannon Tan, thank you so much for your time and all the best. Hope you have a lovely time back home, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you, and thanks for having me as well.